So I was playing in church the other day, and this lady walks up to me afterward and said, "How are you doing that?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "How are you adding those extra notes? I see you're playing from the hymn book, but it sounds like you're adding all these extra notes in. What are you doing?" Well, it's taken me a while to get to this point. I've played plenty of sour notes in church and plenty of wrong notes trying this out. So what I thought I'd do today is show you some of the tried, tested, and true ways that I add notes to the hymn book to make it more interesting and more beautiful. So I've got 3 techniques I'm going to show you today. The first is called suspensions, the second is called filler notes, and the third is left hand patterns. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the easiest way to start adding notes to the hymns. And we're going to do it here on Nearer My God to Thee. You can download it in the description below. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start first with a suspension. That's this first poorly drawn blue star over here. So what's a suspension and what does it sound like? I'll play it starting from here and see if you can listen and see what I'm doing. I love that sound. It adds a little bit of tension. Did you notice that little bit of tension on the, and then I resolved it. There's a little bit of a rub, and then I resolved it, and it felt peaceful again. Oh, that feels so good. So how do we do that? So what you're looking for in the right hand is you're looking for when the right hand has 2 notes that are right next to each other. And what you do is you move that bottom note, or the alto voice, you're going to move it up 1 note. So it was on E. I simply move it up to F, and then I bring it down 1. And it fits really nicely in this spot too, because that alto was on an F earlier. That's why we call it a suspension. It's like we're suspending, we're holding on to this note a little extra long, and then boom, we drop it down. But it doesn't have to have that F beforehand. I really like this at the ends of lines. It provides a little bit of nice punch to the end of the line. Here's another spot that I just found that you can put it in. You can put it in right here on the second measure. So let's hear how that sounds. Oh, did you hear that on B again? Oh, so all I did was I moved this B flat up to a C and then dropped it down to a B flat. Oh, it just sounds so nice. There are some spots that don't sound so good. Again, you'll probably want to try these out before you get to church. This one might sound a little bit more intense for your church, kind of depending on how you guys like your music. I actually liked that suspension there, but it might sound a little bit too spicy for some. Okay, that was suspensions. Now we're going to work on some filler notes. So I really like adding these to the left hand, but you can add them to both hands. What I'm looking for is where notes jump maybe a skip. So in this case, it goes from D to B flat. This is a really easy spot to add a filler note. So all I'm going to do is in between that D and the B flat, I'm going to simply add a little friendly C, just like this. Oh, do you hear how there's a little bit of that bass movement? Oh, when that bass gets going, makes me feel the spirit, let me tell you. Let's find some other spots that we can put it in. This happens again on the second line, so that's nice and easy to put in. Sometimes though, you'll have skips that'll go up. So in this case, we're going from C up to an F. I think I'm doing this on the bass note, but you could theoretically do them anywhere. Let's see what that sounds like. Again, I'm gonna add a couple of notes in between C and F as I play this. Nice, you're getting a little of that bass movement. I was kind of overemphasizing it. But it can come across quite subtle and just a nice little bit of movement there. Okay, now we've done some filler notes. Finally, we're gonna do some left hand pattern stuff. This actually, in some ways, makes the left hand easier on these hymns, but provides kind of a break from the really blocky, stiff sound that we get when we play just all the notes in the left hand. So here's how this works. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna simply look at the first chord that's in every left hand measure, and I'm just gonna play a little pattern. I'm gonna play bottom, then top, then bottom, B, T, B. So I'd play that left hand just like that, F, then C, then F. And here's how that sounds together. And I'll do that on the first line of every measure, or the first note of every measure, and I'll just leave the rest of the notes out. And I think it has kind of a nice sweet sound. It's really great for prelude. Sometimes you will run into situations where you only have one note, so I'll just make this into an octave, so I simply played an F lower than that. But it wasn't that nice, it just had this kind of resting, peaceful sound. So that's the easiest one. The next one that's a little bit more challenging is alternating. So we just did bottom, top, bottom. Now we're gonna do alternating. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those first two notes of the measure, like we talked about before, and I'm gonna simply just go back and forth on them. Get in the octave. That just sounds so nice. I think it has just this flowing, beautiful thing to it. I'm not really actually adding any notes here. I'm actually just adding a little bit of rhythm to that left hand. And in some ways it's easier because again, I don't have to play all those notes. I'm just gonna leave all of those out, which is really nice. Oh, and I have one more really cool thing you can do on the end of the hymn, but before I jump to that, I just wanted to say, hey, my name is Sylvan. I love teaching piano, it's my jam. If you wanna get more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump into that last trick. I'm super excited for this one. This kind of combines what we did with the suspensions, but we're actually gonna do it in two hands this time. So often you'll hear in church people do something like this. Oh my gosh, I love that chord. It surprises you just a little bit and adds a little nice ring to the end. Now, if you are playing in a congregation where they love singing 4-part harmony, they might get mad at you for doing this one. I've had people mad at me before because it kind of gets in the way of their notes. But if you're just doing this maybe as prelude or postlude or something, this is really, really, really nice. So what am I doing? So I'm taking this last chord and I'm gonna move the two middle notes up one step and then down. So this right hand is on a C, so I'm gonna move it up to a D. And then this A, I'm gonna move up to a B flat. And then I'll resolve it down to A, and that top one, I'll resolve down to C. Hopefully you can kind of see that, and here's how that works. So my left hand's gonna play B, my right hand's gonna play D, and then they move down one to where they're supposed to be. So I'm kind of taking what's written, and then I'm moving these two middle notes, right? I'm moving these two middle notes up just one step and then resolving them back down. And if you want to be really fancy, some pianists will I love that. They'll actually, you're expecting them to resolve down at some point, and then they go up instead and then bring it back down. Oh, that just sounds so fun.